We turn now to the city of Oakland, which continues to grapple with crime and its search for a new police chief. Joining us live now to discuss is Mayor Thao. Mayor, thanks for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Well, Mayor, it's no secret the city of Oakland has a serious issue with crime. You inherited quite a problem here. 200 of your small business owners shut down on Tuesday to demonstrate. Target is leaving. Are you hearing the concerns of your community?
Absolutely. Equally frustrated as well, too. In my administration, we're focused on making Oakland safer for residents and businesses. And so we've taken a number of steps to bolster public safety. We know that, pre-pandemic, we saw a decrease in crime, and then post-pandemic now, we're seeing crimes that are being committed that doesn't look like crimes that have been committed previously, right? The brazenness is different. And so we're adjusting as well, too. And this month, I've just announced the expansion of foot patrol officers in business districts throughout the city. And my administration brought this program back earlier this year because it had been discontinued for several years in the past. But we brought it back, and now we're doubling up on it. Of course, we also have CHP, who is helping us patrol our streets. We know that people are driving in a way where they look like they've lost their minds. And so CHP is out there patrolling our streets, making sure that people drive appropriately. And of course, we are working with Visit Oakland on our Activate Oakland grant, where we are providing grants to businesses and business districts to really activate the areas and get people to come out again. This is in support of our small businesses and in support of keeping Oakland vibrant and safe.
And hopefully those initiatives do make a difference here. Your city is also seeing a huge uptick in auto thefts and burglaries. As you know, 10,000 stolen vehicles so far this year, according to police data. What's driving this and what's being done?
Just yesterday, one of our ceasefire cases resulted in the arrest of 10 individuals and the recovery of a dozen firearms. Last week, working with the U.S. Marshals is part of the Operation North Star. OPD apprehended 137 fugitives on crimes here in the city of Oakland. And so we're not taking this lightly at all. Actually, of course, we know the investigation does take some time, but we are seeing the results. Again, there's been 10 individuals arrested just this week. And last week, we arrested 137 fugitives. And so it does feel as though it is taking some time, but do know that as your mayor, I know that the buck stops with me. And so that is why we are not waiting until we have a permanent police chief or a permanent Department of Violence Prevention chief. We are actually taking the steps, working interagency-wide and making sure that we are making the arrests and taking the people who are creating trauma and really creating the chaos in the society, that they're brought to justice.
All right, so it sounds like the arrests are happening, but I spoke the other day with some Oakland residents, and they said that in some ways, it really feels like crime has become normalized in Oakland. I mean, would you agree with that? And how much responsibility do you take for that?
Crime should never be normalized in any city. And we don't believe that crimes here, even the bipping, breaking windows, that is not a normal status quo. I do agree that this is not the standard that we want to take on. And so this is why we are activated. We are working with the Attorney General's office. We are working with CHP. We are working with the sheriff. Not just that, but we have undercover investigations that are ongoing right now as we speak. And so you will see that there's going to be people brought to justice. But the standard of how much crime is happening in the city of Oakland, it is not a standard that I am ever okay with. And so we are moving forward in a way where we know the urgency of this moment. We hear the people, and not just that, but the crisis that we're in, and we're tapping every single agency to come and support. And again, you'll start seeing the results of some of this implementation.
Okay, and do you personally take any responsibility for this increase in crime that people are feeling incredibly frustrated about?
Well, prior to the pandemic, we saw a decrease in crime. And then after the pandemic, that we've been out of or semi-out of for the last 2 years, I mean, we did see an increase in crime. I am the mayor of the city of Oakland. Even though I started my job just 8 months ago, the buck stops with the mayor's office. So I take full responsibility in how we move forward and how we can create a better standard for the city of Oakland. And so absolutely, we are moving forward with making sure that we are implementing things that we know will work, will save lives. And for me, it's incredibly important that the traumatizing of our constituency and our residents, that is no longer the case. And so the urgency is there. And again, we have already arrested 137 people under Operation North Star. We've arrested and taken off multiple guns just this week, and arrested 10 people for those illegal firearms. And this is just the beginning.
Okay. Now, turning now to the search for the new police chief, we know that the NAACP in Oakland has been quite vocal on this. Have you gotten any progress updates from your police commission at all when it comes to this search?
So the police commission is responsible for doing the first steps of the process in regards to finding a new police chief. I'm hopeful that they'll follow their timeline in submitting to me the top 3 finalists, either at the end of October or in the beginning of November. It sounds like they will be on track so long as they keep up with the efforts. And so I'm excited to actually meet the 3 finalists and go into the interview process with them.
Okay. You know, the commission is holding a public town hall tonight to talk about the search for a new chief, talking about possibly bringing LaRon Armstrong back. Do you have any plans to be at this meeting? And what would your next steps be if Mr. Armstrong was a candidate for the role?
You know, my administration, we're going to continue to focus on, how do we reform OPD according to the federal oversight, which we have been under the federal oversight for 20 years now because of the Writers case, right? And so because of that, my main task here is to ensure that OPD gets out of the federal oversight and that we're just not checking off boxes, but that we are policing in a way where it's constitutional policing all at the same time, making sure that we meet these different, deadlines and spots that the federal judge and the monitor is tasking us with. And so for me, it's important to have a chief who can come on and understand not just the culture of Oakland and the community of Oakland and be a part of that, but at the same time, hold a standard of making sure that we create the reforms that are demanded of us by the federal oversight. And so that means that chief must be able to work with the federal monitor and the federal judge. And unfortunately, I don't believe that would be the case with Mr. Armstrong.
All right, Oakland Mayor Shane Thao, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.